Hey everyone, welcome to Sequence of Instructions. Thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be building off of the tag basics video from before. This is our second, episode in our series on learning HTML and CSS. In this video we're going to be covering things like images, links, and lists. To do that we're going to learn a few other concepts. In addition to those tags, we're going to learn things about things called attributes. So if you're not familiar with any of those four words, linked, lists, images, or attributes, stick along, stick around, hang with us, whatever. It's going to be a good one. Alright, so what I have here is, again, I'm on jspin.com. I have my HTML and output tabs open. Again, I removed the boilerplate that they gave us. We're going to learn that in a couple videos coming up. But for now, don't worry about it. So just delete it all. I've made this basic Word doc style site. You see I got a header tag, a quick refresher. Every HTML tag has an opening tag. Here it is H1, a corresponding closing tag, which is like the opening tag with a slash, and then it has some content. In this case, it's the title. So this whole line is considered one HTML element. This would be the opening tag. Again, this would be the closing tag, and here's the content. It's some text. I have a couple paragraph tags, and basically it's just a short description of this YouTube channel, Sequence of Instructions. I didn't check it for typo, so if you see any, I do apologize. I just wrote it up now. But I want to extend this. I think it's a little boring as it is. There's not really, you can read it. Here are these links, but I can't click on them. I'd like to make it better. So first thing we're going to do is let's put an image in of the Sequence of Instructions logo. I think it'll make it more visual. It might be cool. So I've already copied on another screen a link to the logo. Here it is if you want to see it. I got this from YouTube. If you click on any image in Chrome and in most browsers, you can right click, you can say copy image address. It'll give you this, or right click view image if you're seeing it on a web page. Most of the time you'll be able to get the link to the image. You'll know it's linked to the image because it will end in .jpeg, but more on that another time. Alright, so I have my link and I want to put an image right here. How do I do that? Well, the way you do it is with a tag called the image tag. Okay? And now the image tag, you'll remember I started this video telling you that every HTML tag has an opening and a closing tag and some content. Well, that is not the case with the image tag, so I did lie to you and I apologize. The image tag is simply just an opening tag, and it has what's called an attribute. I said in the beginning of this video we'll be learning about attributes. Here we are learning it. An attribute always follows the pattern of attribute name equals and then value. Okay? So in this example, the attribute is name, its value is value. You'll notice I put the attribute inside the opening tag. That is between the opening caret and the closing caret of the opening tag. Right? So it doesn't go, you would never do it like this, right? Because this is outside of the tag, this being the opening tag. This is outside of the tag and it's therefore considered content, and so it displays here, as opposed to being what we want it to be, which is an attribute of the tag itself. So again, I have my tag, I have my opening caret, there's the tag name, we'll put a space, but before we close the tag, we'll put our attribute. So that name equals value, this is just an example, value. This is just an example of what an attribute looks like, the pattern of an attribute. In the same way that this is the pattern of an HTML element, the pattern being opening tag, closing tag, content, the pattern persists even though the actual implementation might change. So here's a different tag name, different content, but still we find opening, content, closing. And so just as the same as with attributes, where the pattern is attribute name equals quote, attribute value, end quote, this being the full attribute. The actual use of attributes are going to vary based on what you're trying to do. So in this case, we're trying to make an image appear on our page. We've created an image tag. What you need to do is tell the image tag where to get the image from. And so for that, we're going to create a source attribute. src for source. Following the same pattern, we're going to do equals, quote, quote. And now in here, the value of our source attribute is going to be that link. And you'll see, boom, puts an image right where I want it to be of the Sequence of Instructions logo, the exact same logo we saw before. All right, so just a quick refresher or recap what we just did. An image tag is like it is an HTML element, but it's different in that it is only an opening tag. There is no, you don't close an image tag. Whoops. This wouldn't make sense. It might let you do that, but you don't. Generally you don't do this. And it doesn't make any sense to put content in here because the content is going to be just the image itself. You would never have text like that. So again, the image tag is just the opening tag. We create a source attribute, remembering again that attributes follow the pattern attribute name equals quote attribute value. In this case, the value is going to be the link to the image that you want to put in. So there it is. This is how YouTube does their images, I guess. It's a weird URL string, but there it is, and there's the image. All right, so that's images. Next, we're going to learn lists. Okay, you'll see here at the bottom I have these 3 paragraph tags, and it looks okay, but really I wanted this to be like a bulleted list, so it kind of sticks out a little more. Like, check out these videos to get a taste. So to do that, we're going to learn a new element. This one's called, well, there's 2. There's unordered list and ordered list. I'm going to do an unordered list first. So unordered, U, list, L. Unordered list is the tag name. Like all tags, we have a closing tag. All right. And now the content of every list, unordered or ordered, in this case, again, it's unordered, and the content of the unordered list is going to be list items. All right, so we're going to nest, if you remember that word from the last video, we're going to nest list item HTML elements inside of our list container. So we have our container, it's unordered list tag. The content of the unordered list tag is going to be a bunch of list items. These are the individual items you want in your list. They are li tags. So following the same pattern, we have our opening li tag, our closing li tag. What should the content of our list item be? Well, I want it to be these links. So I'm going to pull them out of the paragraph tags. I'm going to put them in here. And you'll see already this first one now has a nice bullet to really make it pop compared to the others. Let's do it for the other ones too. I'm going to make some more list items. You may have noticed sometimes I put content on its own line, sometimes I don't. It's really up to you. I think if my rule of thumb is if your tag is small and just wrapping text, it's okay to do it on one line. Otherwise, if you have multiple lines of text, or in this case you're wrapping multiple elements, you're going to want to give them each their own line to really, it makes it a lot easier to read. Alright, so here's my second one. There it is. Here's my last one. Delete, delete, delete. And there we go. So now I have my links, or my links to videos as list items, which is, I think, much nicer. But we can do even better, right? The internet was made, it's called hypertext because text can link to other places of the internet. That's the whole reason the internet exists. Hyperlinks, hypertext. It's in the name HTML. So we want to make these not just text you can copy, paste in your browser and go to. We want to make it easy for the person to have an actual link to it. So let's see how to make a link. I'm going to break this into another line because we're going to be using a new element. All right, again, it doesn't matter how many spaces you have. HTML only cares about if there is any white space, it reduces it to 1. We talked about that in the last video. All right, but I'm just spacing it out here so we can see what we're about to do. We're going to make a link. And the same as H1, P, image, UL, links get their own tags. Links are not called link. I don't want to confuse you. It would make sense if it was, but it's not. Links are called anchors. So they get the A tag. A for anchor. This is saying what page we're going to be anchoring to. You can imagine like this visual kind of helps with me. I'm not sure if it's where the etymology comes from, but if you follow, if a ship is docked, and you follow the link, the chain link coming off the side of the boat, at the bottom of that link you'll find the anchor. All right, so that's kind of how I remember that anchors are links. So anchor, this is going to have an opening and a closing tag. So we have our opening A tag, we have our closing A tag. The content is going to be what you want it to say. So I'll just put, what is this video I think is HTML basics. Okay, so my link is going to say HTML basics, but where do I want the link to point to? I want it to point to this website I've copied. The attribute for this, we learned source for images. The attribute for anchor tags is called href, which stands for hypertext or hyperlink reference, excuse me. And following the same pattern, it goes attribute name equals quote quote, and the value, like we said, is going to be the YouTube video that we want them to watch. So here I paste the URL to the video I want as the value to my href attribute. Href being the attribute of an anchor tag being what we use for links. You see this first one worked. I'm not going to get rid of this extra space just to make it clear. So we have it's again nested inside the list item. So we have an unordered list with list items. Each list item is going to have an anchor tag, and each anchor tag is going to link to a video with the content of hopefully that video's title. Alright, so let's do it for these last two really quick. So again, I make my break, anchor tag, href. I'm going to close it right away so I don't forget. This is the value of my href. Put that in there. And the content, what I want it to appear as, see we have a link but there's no text. The content I want this to appear as is variables. I believe this is the variables video. I might have these mixed up. Forgive me if I do. Alright, one more. We're going to do it one more time. I'm spacing it out so it remains easy to read. Anchor tag, href is my property, or I'm sorry, the attribute name. The value is the link to the video. I'm going to close my a tag. And the content of my a tag is going to be, I think this one is Dice Project. I can't remember what link I got. I visited it though. You can see it's a different color. Alright, so there you go. I know I kind of covered a lot, maybe did a little quick. If you need a refresher, watch this video again. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. Just a quick recap. We learned about image tags. Remember, they don't have closing tags. They're just opening tags. We learned about unordered lists. If I made this ordered list, which would be OL instead of UL, you'll see the dots become numbers. So first do this, second do this, third do this. There's an ordering to it. So I guess we learned unordered list and ordered list. Unordered list, there is no order, it's just dots. We learned about list items. These must be the contents of your list. And then we also learned about links, how to make a link, an anchor tag. Again, having an attribute href pointing to where it wants to go. Very similar to the image, but the image's attribute property name is going to be source, src. So that just about does it. Again, please rewatch this video. I know we covered a lot. The things we learned in this we're going to continue to use and build off of in coming videos, so make sure that you really got a strong foundation here. Yeah, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until next time, take care. Bye.